Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to show you how I took a product idea all the way to $3 million in annual run rate on Amazon in just 4 months. And honestly, this product didn't even exist on Amazon. I know that might sound crazy to some of you as well, and you might think that maybe the secret sauce behind that is a golden PPC strategy or a fancy A+ listing content or even some outside traffic, right? Because everybody talks about this. But what I'll tell you is that it's nothing like that. In fact, it's something that's really simple, a micro niche that no one was paying attention to. And so, to those who don't know me, I'm Malik Ibad, the founder of AMZ Product Lab, where we help Amazon sellers, private label Amazon sellers, launch products faster and better than everybody else. So, in today's video, I'm going to show you the exact strategies behind this $3 million product on Amazon. So, if you stick around, I'm not just going to prove to you that I'm the person behind finding, validating, and differentiating this product idea on Amazon from scratch before anybody else, but I'm also going to share with you 3 key lessons that were really the growth levers behind this entire launch. And the first lesson is the riches are in the micro niches. Second, micro niches as the biggest form of differentiation. Third, how to find these micro niches. But before I continue, let me make this very clear, okay? Like, this is not going to be one of those product research videos where you will get some cookie cutter product research advice like look for products under 300 reviews or look for products over 10k search volume or look for that or this. I mean, of course, that worked 8 years ago on Amazon, but Amazon has changed, customers have changed, the algorithm has changed, and if your product research strategy hasn't changed, then really you are missing big time, my friend. And this video, believe me, you will never look at product research the same way after viewing this video. Now, what you are seeing on the screen is the exact product that helped my client get from $0 to $3 million in just 4 months. It's a double-sided cutting board basically, right? So it has titanium on one side and wheat straw on the other. Now titanium, customers basically use titanium on the one side to cut things like meat and chicken, right? And the other side, which is the wheat straw side, customers use it to cut vegetables and fruits because it provides a more gentle surface. And so you see, this type of product never existed on Amazon 4 months ago. Like, it's crazy, right? You can check the listing age of all the sellers who are selling double-sided titanium cutting boards just like ours, and you will notice that it's literally been only 4 months since this product existed on Amazon. And our listing is on the top right over here. But let me make this very clear as well. There were, of course, double-sided cutting boards, but not in the titanium one, right? They were only available in the stainless steel version. So stainless steel on one side and wheat straw on the other. And really quickly, just to prove to you guys that I am the person behind finding, validating, and differentiating this product before anybody else, before this product was even launched on Amazon, then here's the screenshot between me and my client, right? You can see our chat. We were talking about this exact product on September 2024. You can see the date here, which is 3 months before this product was even launched on Amazon. So this was really the exact product that we were talking about 3 months before it was even a thing on Amazon, right? And so this is just to prove to you guys that I'm the real deal and this is all real stuff, right? Now, moving ahead, you see every category has the potential to be niched down to the depth that really nobody realized was possible. For example, if you look at this pyramid over here, you will see that the category in our case was kitchen and dining, which is quite obvious. The subcategory was cutting boards. Now this of course includes all types, right? Steel ones, plastic ones, wooden ones, etc. A niche on the other hand might be something more unique, which is a double-sided cutting board, right? So it has stainless steel. And the only double-sided cutting boards at that time which existed were the stainless steel versions, right? So steel on one side and wheat straw on the other side. But a micro niche, that's where the real magic happened for us. And that's what no one was able to identify in this market, because this micro niche was not a double-sided cutting board in steel, but rather a double-sided cutting board, a titanium version of double-sided cutting board, right? So titanium on one side and wheat straw on the other. Now, the first question you might have is, how the heck did we even find this product? So we simply saw this bestseller who was selling double-sided cutting boards in stainless steel version, and we literally saw that he was literally ranking on the top 15 spots for almost all the keywords that were related to titanium, right? So titanium cutting boards. And so what does it mean? It basically means that when customers search for titanium cutting boards, they're gonna purchase one of these 2 options. The first one is a cutting board that has titanium on both sides, right? Because that's showing them. It's also one variation that is sold in the market. Or the customers would opt for the second option, which is that they need a cutting board with titanium on one side and wheat straw on the other. But this option wasn't even available in the market 4 months ago. This is why customers had to compromise by getting these ones. The double-sided cutting board with stainless steel on one side and wheat straw on the other. So no titanium at all. this is why he was getting ranked for all the titanium related keywords as well, since he was getting all the sales of these customers who wanted a double-sided titanium cutting board. And so there weren't any available at that time. And I'm not just talking about a few customers here. I mean, look at this one keyword. This one keyword alone has 60,000 plus search volume. So more than 60,000 people were compromising on getting a steel version of a double-sided cutting board which they wanted in titanium version. In fact, when we dive deeper, we really realized that what was the reason behind customers preferring titanium over steel. And what we saw was that titanium is much lightweight than steel. In fact, you can see that the number one reasons for returns in this niche were due to the heavy weight of the steel, and Amazon's data proves it. But titanium, it's much lighter, stronger, corrosion resistant than steel. And that's when we realized that we were really onto something big. So we thought, okay, these are customers who are looking for a double-sided titanium cutting board, and Amazon is showing them a steel one because the titanium one does not exist. And so customers buy it, but their real intent was to get a titanium one, right? Because it's much lightweight. So what if we gave them exactly what they wanted, and that was a lightweight double-sided cutting board in titanium version? And the reason behind that would be that not only would it match their keyword intent, right, the titanium cutting board, but it would also solve their biggest complaint, which is heavy weight. And so by doing this, we're not just standing out from the rest of the market completely, but we're also making sure that our micro niche product really caters to all of these product return insights that you are seeing on the screen, right? Otherwise, you will end up with these conversion rate killer badges on top of your product listing saying frequently returned item, and believe me, you don't want that badge, right? And so this is really how we found this micro niche, by looking at the customer's hidden keyword intent and what was being offered in the market, because customers were not saying directly that they wanted a double-sided cutting board in titanium version, as you can see in all these keywords. Otherwise, anybody would have really found this micro niche, and it wouldn't really be a micro niche, right? It would have been saturated long ago. But the fact that there was a unique intent for double-sided titanium cutting boards behind this one keyword, which is titanium cutting board, is really what helped us connect the dots in the market. Because the reality is that these micro niches are not something that you will find in customer reviews. I mean, we literally didn't find any customer review that reflected this idea of a need of a titanium version. There wasn't any keyword, there wasn't any customer review saying this. And so all we did was connect the dots in the market, look at the hidden keyword intent, and really get the entire story. And like, if you are only relying on customer reviews to differentiate your products on Amazon, then you are really missing out big time. Why? Because I mean, everybody has access to these customer reviews, right? Every Amazon seller has access to these. And so what happens is that every Amazon seller is looking at the same market gaps, and so they all end up launching the same damn product. And when your product blends into the crowd with 20 other lookalikes, the only option that will be left for you to compete on is price and content. And believe me, price should never be your main differentiation point. Why? Because there will always be a seller who will undercut you in price 99% of the time, right? So that's a dead end over there. And so if we talk about content, well, your primary content, which is your listing images, your bullets, your A+, that is only visible on your product listing page, right? Which is where your real estate is. But if your product is something that blends into the crowd and you lost in terms of pricing as well, then no one is going to click on your listing, right? Because they can get a much cheaper version of your product from other guys. And so what happens? No one is going to click that your fancy listing with fancy A+ listing content or this or that, right? And so this is why you can't always rely on content to be your main differentiation. But with micro niches, it's completely different. Why? Because you're not just relying on review-based market gaps. You are chasing keyword intents. You are chasing ranking behavior. You are identifying what people are searching for but not getting. And so you are understanding customer psychology and pain points that are hidden in the hindsight for an average seller. In fact, this is what really true differentiation is, right? In fact, I love this quote by Steve Jobs, which says, people don't know what they want until you show it to them. And it's really true, honestly, right? Before iPhones, people didn't know touchscreen phones would change their life. They were used to BlackBerry buttons. They were stuck in a box. And your Amazon's customers, they have the same story. They don't always know what they want until you show it to them. But the data will always give you clues. You need to listen, connect the dots, and understand the market, the product, and the customers better than everybody else. However, let me tell you something here. Remember, not every product can be a micro niche, okay? Because the reality is that you may fall into the trap of picking a dead or unprofitable market and calling it a micro niche. And so this is why I have prepared 3 simple questions that you can ask yourself to see whether you have landed on a perfect gold mine or not. So the first question is there a keyword with decent amount of search volume that highlights a unique intent, either hidden intent or visible intent, for a product that is not yet available in the market? Now, what do I mean by that? So if I take our own case, now there was a hidden purchase intent for double-sided titanium cutting boards inside the broader titanium cutting board keyword, and it also had a good amount of search volume, but there were no products available in the market for this hidden intent. And so that is how we knew that this is really a micro niche. But if you don't find any keyword, then move to the second question. The second question is there any unique intent in the customer reviews with a decent amount of customers talking about that problem and no product available in the market? If there is such intent, well, you have got your hands on a micro niche. Why? Because sometimes you might find that customers are using a product for different use cases, right? And so you can use those use cases in your listing content, in your brand positioning, in your product images, in your title, bullets, everything. I mean, this of course works really incredibly. It works incredibly well in supplements, especially, right? Because you can literally have two same products, two same supplements with the exact formulations, but you can target them to different customer avatars, right? Maybe one for men or one for women, adults, children, or someone from with a XYZ characteristic. So it works really well in supplements. Now, moving to the third question we have is, now this is going to be really tricky, so just I need your attention over here. So is there an X product ranking for a Y keyword with decent amount of search volume and no competitors available in the market for X plus Y? Now let me break it down. So in our case, the double-sided stainless steel and bead stock cutting board was the X product, and it was ranking for a Y keyword, which is a titanium cutting board, but there were no titanium plus feedstock cutting boards available in the market, which is X plus Y. That's how we instantly knew that it was a micro niche. And if you can say yes to any of these 3 questions, then you have struck gold, my friend. Now, moving to the next lesson, micro niche as the biggest form of differentiation. As we saw before, micro niche itself is a form of differentiation because no one is doing it, right? But here's what you can do to take advantage of a micro niche and really make your product even more desirable in the minds of your customers without even redesigning the entire product and getting asked for ridiculously high MOQs or tooling costs by our supplier, right? So you don't need to reinvent the wheel in this. So you see, mature product categories like wooden cutting boards, they have been in the game for decades. And that means their top sellers have been battle tested by the market and, most importantly, optimized over time based on real customer feedback. In simple words, they have evolved both in features and in how they present their products. You can literally use this to your advantage by implementing these evolved characteristics from the parent market and injecting them into your micro niche, right? For example, in the wooden cutting board niche, almost every top seller's listing emphasized on the gifting element. You can see a dedicated bullet point that just talks about how this product is a perfect gift idea. Even the product's main image shows that it has like a premium branded packaging sleeve that makes it even better for gifting, right? So here's the interesting part. When I looked at the micro niche of double-sided cutting boards, and I didn't found any listing that had this gifting angle, not a single one of them, right? Neither on the main images, neither in any bullet points. And interestingly, Amazon also showed us this one data where we saw that most of the customers also use this product for gifting, right? So what do? You basically borrow the evolutionary characteristics from the parent category and then you apply it to your micro niche. Like add a bullet that talks specifically about how it is the perfect gift item for moms or daughters, right? To resonate with your customers even more and improve your conversion rate, right? And not just that, but also create a beautiful branded sleeve on your main image highlighting the gifting experience. And just like all these wooden board sellers, right, that you see on your screen, you may also add your main product keyword on the packaging, because we have seen that Amazon also indexes you for any text that you have on your images, right? So including that main product keyword on your packaging in your main image can be a game changer as well. So it can help you from an SEO perspective as well as help you visually stand out in the market. Now, if you think that's all, then believe me, it's not all. So there is another characteristic of the parent wooden cutting board market that hasn't been implemented in this micro niche. So I noticed that this parent market also included the cutting board holders, right, that were bundled with these products. Again, nothing new but proven. Customers love the convenience. It helps with drying, organizing, and presenting the product neatly on a countertop. Yet again, if we come to the micro niche of double-sided cutting boards, you will see zero sellers offering these holders. And look, how much even is it going to cost you? A few bucks. But imagine the value proposition it can bring to your product offer, right? It can help you visually stand out on the entire search engine result page, as well as make your main image more appealing. And just like that, you can literally turn your micro niche product into the most complete offer in the category without even guessing, without even gambling, or without even reinventing anything. And all you are doing is just being smart. Now let me be real, very real with you, right? That is, just because you find a micro niche and identify the market gaps doesn't mean you blindly launch into it. Before you place that inventory order of 500,000 or 2,000 pieces, you should be 100% sure that the market actually wants it. And so what you can do is run a quick product market fit test on polling platforms like IntelliView, PickFu, and Product Opinion for a few $100s. Here's how our market test looked like. On the left is our own micro niche product, double-sided titanium plus wheat straw, and on the right is the most relevant and closest bestseller to us, which is a double-sided stainless steel one, right? And to keep the customer's bias out of the equation, I also use the same product images just to see, and also the same design and the same branding, but just with a different material, just to remove the customer bias out of the equation. Because some customers might like some different angles about the product or different brandings about the product, so I didn't want that bias to be involved in this product market fit test. And you can see the results from your own eyes. 70% of customers chose the titanium version, as we had expected. This one test gave us all the validation that we needed to basically launch this micro niche product, because now we were not just guessing, we had a real product, we were solving a real problem, and that people actually wanted. And more importantly, it gave us an edge as well, because if we didn't test it, if we didn't do everything that you see on the screen, every of this product market fit test, that we might have missed how important that titanium perception really was in this market, even when you have the same main image, right? Because that showed how strong the perception of titanium is, right? So if you literally have the same image compared to any other competitor that you have, then you will still win in the market because of the strong titanium perception. Now, I know you are probably wondering, okay, Malik, this all sounds good, but how do I actually land on the product idea itself? Because honestly, what I've showed you is an already found product. We already saw that double-sided cutting board. It's an already found product. But how do we actually land on the product idea itself? How do you know which products to sell? How do you know which products has the highest amount of demand and the lowest amount of competition and fits every single criteria, every single KPI perfectly? Well, it all boils down to one thing: a manual Amazon product research method. You need to understand, my friend, that these micro niches that we saw, these $1 million golden nuggets, they're not big enough right now to be registered as a hot niche in most popular product research tools, but they're also not small enough to be ignored. This means that tool-based research fails here because everybody is using the same tools, the same filters, the same approach, and that's why they're getting the same results. But the $3 million products, the ones doing 6 to 7 figures quietly, they're not on these tools, at least yet. They were found manually before the tools even caught up, and it took me 5 years to figure out what these manual product research methods are that helps me consistently find these micro niches for my clients today. So here's the deal. I'm going to give you 20 of these manual Amazon product research methods for absolutely free of cost. And no, I'm not talking about some YouTube recycled garbage like check the bestsellers page or look for products on the 300 reviews. I'm not talking about any of that stuff. In fact, these are the methods that I have used to find and launch 147 products that have generated me over $33.4 million on Amazon. So some of these methods are even confidential, but they are proven and they are tactical. This is why I'm only sharing them with a few handful of sellers. So if you want access, here's what you need to do. Connect with me on LinkedIn and DM me methods, and I'll send you this doc personally. And listen, if this is the stuff that we are giving away for free, then imagine what our paid stuff looks like, because we haven't even touched the surface. I mean, this is really the tip of the iceberg. We haven't even discussed the AI-driven differentiation strategies, cross-market analysis that borrows proven triggers from parallel markets, or SEO-based differentiation, or unique brand positioning frameworks, or subconscious value stacking, and much more. That's a whole different game, honestly, and we play it at the highest level. So if you are looking to find your next market validated bestseller that makes your brand the only choice for customers in just 21 days, then book a call with us at amgproductlab.com. I'll leave the link in the description as well. And try us for 30 days. And if you don't dive into shark infested waters to get our service back, then honestly, we didn't do our job right. And we are not in this game to lose. We are here to win. With that being said, see you in the next video.